We are back in the film room, sticking with the defensive side of the ball. We're taking a look at Leo Chenal, number 54, Kansas City Chiefs linebacker, who has been an integral piece of this defense over the last couple of years, especially in base defense. Leo Chenal is a great run defender. He's been a great tackler. The pass rush could be a little bit better. I think when Spags, really schemes something up for him, he is solid in that role. But I don't think that much of his role, is based around pass rush. The coverage has gotten better. It could be better still, but we're going to take a look at some of those things in this film breakdown. I did a film breakdown on Leo Chenal last season, just like this in the offseason heading into the 2024 season. And kind of some of the questions there were, could he really step up and, help, fill the void of Willie Gay leaving to New Orleans? I think that he did that nicely. I think that we saw in that film breakdown last year that he would be able to do some of those things. So we'll see a little bit more of the same, but Leo Chenal, I think another solid season. He'll be interesting to see whether the Chiefs are going to re-sign him at the end of the year or not, or if we're kind of seeing a similar situation with Jeffrey Bossa as we saw last year with Jaden Hicks, where the writing was kind of on the wall for Justin Reed, that he was not going to be re-signed, with Jaden Hicks kind of stepping up and standing out last season. And then, same thing with Jeffrey Bossa, the rookie out of Oregon linebacker, to see if he steps up and maybe, takes that role from Leo Chenal and they don't have to spend that money. What is the market going to look like for Leo Chenal after this season? I'm not 100% sure. So we are going to look at all this tape in this film breakdown. Before we do that, about 90%, just under 90% of y'all still are not subscribed to the channel that are watching this. So if you really do enjoy these film breakdowns, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to hit that 500 mark before the NFL season starts. We've got a couple of weeks left. I think we can do it. Let's get into this film breakdown. All right, so this first play is going to come to us from the New Orleans Saints game. There's Leo Chenal right there. And this play, great run fit by the Kansas City Chiefs on this play. The beginning of this, I really want to focus on Leo Chenal's athleticism. I did this in my last film breakdown last year, but if you don't know, Leo Chenal has a 9.99 relative athletic score, which is a score they give draft prospects coming out of the draft with, their combine scores, everything related to that. Leo Chenal is ranked 4th out of 2,226 linebackers from 1987 to 2022. And right here, I think this is the perfect place to stop it, because you've got Bolton over here in this gap. You've got Leo Chenal that is going to come screaming through this other gap to get this tackle. The Saints just don't have much. I mean, ideally for New Orleans, what you'd want to have happen is you get this block right here, and Kamara finds some space somewhere behind him to then go. Which, if they're able to, also showing the athleticism of Leo Chenal, because Chenal is actually going to get, behind the run, basically right here, coming through this gap, and he is going to beat Kamara to where he's trying to go on this play. Bolton does help him make the tackle, and does a great job on the run fit just in general, but the fact that Leo Chenal can get there before Kamara is able to even get to his spot where he needs to be sets up a great stop on that run play. So next one here from the San Francisco 49ers game. Going to get a handoff to the left side. And again, showing Leo Chenal's real strength in the run game, because I do think that's where his strength really comes into play, is in the run game. Pass game is I think he's better at probably spying the quarterback than anything else in the pass game. But a great job right here, just taking on a block, head up, pushing off of it, and getting the tackle. Again, going back to that relative athletic score, Leo Chenal is just a top-tier athlete. Takes the left guard, head up, push, get away from him. No real hand fighting involved right there, but able to just get that space off of that push right there. Boom. Gets off the block and gets a great tackle right there and a run play for nothing. All right, next from the divisional game against the Houston Texans at Arrowhead Stadium, Leo Chenal, another just great play. I think this play really puts it all together. So here he is over there on the edge of the play, but I do think this just kind of ties it all together, because you can see him do everything correctly on this play. Stays at home, breaks on the ball carrier, and makes a great tackle. Think about right at the line of scrimmage right there. So again, this view is going to show us even better. It's loud at Arrowhead. They're trying to communicate. Nobody can hear each other. It's a great time to be there at Arrowhead. Joe Mixon tries to bounce back to the other side, and Leo Chenal is right there waiting for it. But he does a great job right here. A great job of just staying home. Just steady strafe to his right, sees the ball, looks like it's going to the left side. I don't know if this is supposed to be a counter. None of the linemen are really moving as to indicate that it would be a counter, just what Joe Mixon saw right here. Cuts back, Leo Chenal gets through, makes a great tackle. And again, talked about that at the very beginning of this film breakdown, is the tackling. All of these Chiefs can tackle. I mean, this coaching staff does an amazing job with this team, making sure everybody can tackle. So Bolton can't get there. He's blocked. Leo Chenal right next to Bolton. He gets in there. Again, one more time, just stays at home and plays it perfectly. Leo Chenal right here on your right side. Staying at home. Boom. Leads him to the perfect place to make the tackle. Great job. This play more of a gimme right here, but wanted to throw it in because Leo Chenal just kind of blows this play up. I think it kind of goes back to kind of what I was talking about, getting schemed up right. They do a great job right here on a little bit of a stunt between Leo Chenal and who's that behind him? Was that Chamari Connor, I think? 27. And Leo Chenal gets in there, absolutely blows up the play, but I mean, really not too much for Chenal. He's got Ladd McConkey in front of him throwing out a block, and then you got 79 on this right side, which he definitely should have went for Chenal instead of Connor. Either way, one of those guys was going to get home free to Herbert. Looks like a read option right here. Like they were going to hand it off. Bolton's already there in the backfield. Herbert has to take it. Leo Chenal is there. Good play. Schemed up by Spags, though, right here. So more of a little bit of a gimme right here, but I did want to throw that in there when I saw it. Just a good play. Smart play from Leo Chenal. This one, though, very high-level IQ play from Cleveland. And a lot of the defenses, like their best game came from this Cleveland Browns game. The defense played on another level against Cleveland. And we saw that from the Karlaftis breakdown last week. Get a little bit of motion to the left side for the Cleveland Browns right here. And they're just going to hand it off, split zone. Gets a nice gap right there. Leo Chenal, though, look where he starts on this play to where he finishes. So we got Leo Chenal right here on this right side. Jameis Winston is going to hand it off right here to, I believe that's Chubb. Cut back to the hole, and Leo Chenal gets all the way back to the ball carrier and a peanut punch to force a fumble right there. The intangibles of Leo Chenal. I think this play shows everything of the intangibles of Leo Chenal. Start off on the other side of the ball, of where at least where the ball is going, and is able to get all the way back on the second level to make a play and to force a fumble. And these are the things, these are the little things why I do really think that Leo Chenal is an integral part of this defense. And I think that, unless we just see Jeffrey Bossa step up and be absolutely great this season, I don't know. And depending on the market, obviously the money for Leo Chenal, that I think that he's a guy that you really want to see stick around in Kansas City for the, I would say, foreseeable future. I mean, I think that he's been, especially in base. I mean, Leo Chenal is very good in base at linebacker. So right here, we're going to look at a little bit now going to the passing game. A little bit of the drawbacks of Leo Chenal right here. But playing Josh Allen, I think trying to just make sure he stays, somewhere where he can get to Josh Allen. And we'll see why that matters here in a minute. But this is Leo Chenal's assignment. He's right here running free. That's going to make a big play. Maybe Bolton could have helped out a little bit better as well. Let's see where Bolton goes and where he's at once this ball is snapped. Bolton kind of goes back a little bit, but even that, going to the corner, Leo needs to take that, and I think he just hesitated a little bit because, again, you're dealing with Josh Allen. So we'll get it from the other point of view. Play action. I do believe it was play action. The line is moving like it was play action. Yeah, a little bit of a look to, that's James Cook back there, the running back. But Leo Chenal leaves him wide open. Again, kind of going back to that thought process of just staying at home. He does such a good job at not committing too early to anything that kind of messed him up on this play, I think, of letting the tight end get wide open on a deep corner route. Doesn't always work out, but hey, sometimes it does. And on this play, it works out really well. Because the intangibles for Leo Chenal right here, to point this out. This kind of goes along the lines, too, of like last year what we were talking about. Willie Gay. This was Willie Gay's job before. There's Leo Chenal right there. And he does a great job at, again, never overcommitting. He's watching the drag route from the tight end, releases, and the moment he sees it. You see Josh Allen getting ready to go out that way. Leo Chenal, look at his head. He is looking directly down at Josh Allen, trying to figure out what he is doing, because there is, look at all of this space out here. So much space. You got one guy here, you got Leo here, and then you got another guy that's, 20, 30 yards down the field. Josh Allen's got all day to run on this play. All day to run. So Leo Chenal does an amazing job shifting his hips over, going straight for Josh Allen. Not much Allen can get out of this play just because of that, and I think this view right here is going to show even better at how well Leo Chenal does this, and the athleticism going back to that. Because he jumps back into coverage, watching the tight end. Okay, nobody's on my side, I'm assuming what he's thinking, and already, the whole time, you look at Leo Chenal's head, he is looking directly at Allen, surveying and, wondering, or, trying to figure out where he's going. What's he going to do? Obviously, with the running quarterback, the Lamar Jacksons of the world, the Josh Allens of the world, the, maybe Jalen Hurts you could throw in there, Jaden Daniels that the Chiefs are going to have to deal with, who is not a safety for the Kansas City Chiefs, if you watch the Jaden Hicks one. That's how I started it out, so my bad on that one. But a great job, again, just turning his hips and running full sprint after Josh Allen. Isn't able to do much. Najee Johnson able to get over there as well. But I think this play, just really shows, what Leo Chenal is capable of. And it's the little things like this that change the game. That could have been a 20-yard gain for Josh Allen. And, Najee Johnson, I think Josh Allen's probably running Najee Johnson over, if we're being real. So, great job by Leo Chenal right there. And again, right here, we're going to go back to week 1. This is Lamar Jackson, another running quarterback like we were just talking about. And Leo Chenal just being smart about it. I think that he is spying right here because he fakes the rush, kind of backs up, got a little bit of coverage here, but he gets in the passing lane. And trying to go to Justice Hill, who had an amazing game week 1. If you can remember that far back to week 1 of the 2024 NFL season, Justice Hill had an amazing game against Kansas City Chiefs. Felt like every time that a big play happened for the Baltimore Ravens, it was Justice Hill catching something out of the flat and making something happen. So this was a great play by Leo Chenal. Fakes the blitz, backs up, and he's not going for coverage here, I don't think. Because if he was, he would have dropped a little bit further to cover Justice Hill. But right here, instead, he's spying. He's going to spy on Lamar Jackson, make sure that he's not running anywhere. And, again, same thing like the last play that we saw. Look at Leo Chenal. Look at those eyes, directly on Lamar Jackson. So, and exactly what we talked about in that film breakdown last year of, I've said it a couple of times now, but, if he could fill Willie Gay's shoes, this was Willie Gay's job in 2023 and before that. Gets into the passing lane, and something that the Chiefs all do very, very well is they use their hands in the passing lanes and bat down balls. We see that all the time with the Kansas City Chiefs. They do a great job at that, whether it's the defensive linemen or the linebackers. Now we're going to the Raiders game, and Leo Chenal, again, just showing off that athleticism and the ability to, get to the quarterback on especially the scrambles. I think Leo Chenal does a very good job against anybody scrambling. And shout out to new Chiefs backup, Gardner Minshew, on this play, as we were looking at Leo Chenal chase right here. There's Leo in the middle. And, he can line up in a lot of different places. That's another, thing about Leo Chenal. I think that he's pretty versatile. And if he continues to, really improve his game, especially in the coverage, I think we could really see, Leo Chenal break out and to be, maybe not the best linebacker in the league or one of the best in the league, but he plays a very, I think, big part in this defense, especially in base. Does a great job here, though. Just the recognition. I think that's another part that, we talked about Jaden Hicks in his film breakdown of, sometimes seeing the recognition on film of what is going on with the play. And it's hard to teach that. I mean, that's probably just a lot of film study, as well as, just coaching. I mean, it shows how well the Chiefs are coached because, Leo Chenal is coming down trying to bring pressure. And in the middle of that, he's able to see, okay, he's going to get to the outside, and we're going to have to go and chase him down. So from this spot where he's at, right here in the middle, immediately turns. You see how he makes contact with, looks like the back right there? I'm going to circle it out just in case you don't know exactly what I'm looking at. Right here, Leo is the one in the middle of all of this mess. But you see right when he makes contact, just kind of like the 49ers play where he pushes off and just gets some space so he can turn and run. Because he sees what's happening. Shifts his hips over and sprints right at Gardner Minshew. Great play right there. That could have been a much bigger play. And, let's look at it all together. Without Leo Chenal there, I think that's Chris Jones right here, right? Minshew's beating Chris Jones. He doesn't beat Leo Chenal. Other than that, you got this guy that's worried about coverage. Again, let's go back to like the Josh Allen play. Look at all this space. Realistically, probably not going to be a touchdown. You got enough defenders to come up and probably make a play within the last 5 yards. But this changes the entire play with what Leo Chenal does and the play that he makes. Now, instead of being inside the 5, you're at the 10, 11-yard line that Gardner Minshew has to run out at. Great play by Leo Chenal right there. All right, next play from the 49ers game. Again, just that recognition. Leo Chenal taking the flat route from the running back is able to make a tackle for loss on this play. Not as much to worry about with Brock Purdy as far as running-wise. So I think, mainly just staying focused on whatever is going to come out of the backfield, whether, it's worrying about Purdy trying to break a run or, just the back coming out of the backfield and making a play. Again, the tackling, the recognition, staying at home, all of these defensive buzzwords that you want to throw out there, that's Leo Chenal. Leo Chenal is able to make a play, and again, something that could break for bigger, and it's the little things. I keep stressing all of this, but in my mind, I really do think that the Chiefs benefit so much from having a guy like Leo Chenal running around out there, and obviously he's not the big superstar of the defense or anything like that, but it's all of the little things that he does right that just changes the game in certain ways, much like this play right here, that instead of maybe picking up 5 to 10 yards on, a really good play, make somebody miss or something, you got Leo Chenal. You're not making him miss if you don't have space. Right here, the play of the year by Leo Chenal to seal the win against the Denver Broncos. This is just a great play altogether in there with Karlaftis. And, what a game. I was at this game waiting for this kick. There was a kid in the stands near us that was crying about the game, and I remember just thinking, like, you never know with this team. Do not count them out until the fat lady sings, as they say. And that was this was one of those moments. I mean, to get up there and block that kick, I mean, a picture that Chiefs Kingdom will enjoy forever, especially against a division rival. This game was so exciting. And shout out to Bo Nix. I think that he's the real deal, and I'm excited to see these matchups this year with the Broncos and Chiefs. But this right here, picture's worth 1,000 words, right? And I mean, seeing Leo Chenal get this block right here, absolutely beautiful to cap off this film breakdown. I had to, put that in here, right? But Dave Toub, maybe the best special teams coach in the year, or in the league, just in general. But Dave Toub, I think he does an amazing job with his special teams group. I think that we have some gripes with him here and there, but for the most part, Dave Toub, absolutely menace when it comes to special teams coaching. And so with that, that's the Leo Chenal film breakdown. I think the intangibles of Leo Chenal are huge. I think that he does a great job at staying at home on the run plays. He's explosive. He's one of the best athletes in the league in general. And I do think that it is going to be very interesting to see how the Chiefs deal with his contract situation, what kind of money he's going to command. Is there a team like, we saw Carolina give Tershawn Wharton a big contract, or, not big. I'm not 100% sure what the money was, but more than the Chiefs were willing to pay Tershawn Wharton. But he also was amazing last season. Another guy that I think is an unsung hero that I became a big fan of the last couple of years doing these film breakdowns, because it felt like you always saw Tershawn Wharton doing something positive to affect any kind of play, but, doesn't get the praise for it. And that's okay. Not everybody gets the praise for all the little things they do. It doesn't show up on the instant replay or the, while you're watching the game. But if you're watching the all 22 film and you are paying attention to what's going on, these are the guys that are doing the dirty work, essentially. And I think Leo Chenal is definitely one of those guys for the Kansas City Chiefs. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think about Leo Chenal. What do you guys think about his future with the Kansas City Chiefs? And if you would like to see me break down anybody else before this regular season starts, I'm excited for this preseason film to start coming out. Is there any of the young guys, the rookies, or anyone you want me to look at in the preseason specifically? Drop that in the comments below. I will get to them. I'm very excited to do more film breakdowns throughout the year than I was able to do last year. So I'm very excited for that. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoy these, and drop a like on the video if you enjoyed and are still here. I'm trying to hit 500 subscribers before the regular season starts. We're at like 432, I think, as of recording. So we are right there. I think we can hit that. And until next time, your boy Papa Shro will see you back in the film room.